That's how you know you have good bearings. I really like the idea of starting at your house and going on the biggest adventure you can. The plan is to start at Sam and Gil's house. They live in San Francisco. Bike 3,300 miles nonstop to Anchorage with 7 of us. So there's one person on their bike at all times, 24 hours a day, and we would just rotate through all the way from San Francisco to Anchorage. None of us are professional athletes. In fact, some would say that none of us are even close to professional athletes.
There's Andy, and Andy's sort of the mastermind behind this. We also had Sam, probably the heaviest, most jacked person on this trip.
Connor cares about everyone's well-being, everyone's safety.
Chef Willie, the guy's cooked like most of our meals for us.
Zipper's kind of like your best friend.
We've got Gil, who is obviously the most legendary of the crew. We've got Ben, the fastest biker among us.
We had one dropout, and we were lucky enough to find Davis. Davis was with us for like 1,800 miles or something like that, always checking people's bikes, making sure they were working. None of us are doing this to set a record. None of us are doing this for accolades or fame. We're doing it to have fun. You know, we're doing it for a little adventure, and hopefully we stumble in some unknowns and we, learn from it. Yeah, that's the idea. 3,300 miles on bikes, nonstop for 8 days. The first 2 or 3 rides I almost think of as just us getting our legs under us and figuring out what this is going to feel like, trying to develop some type of pattern of eating and sleeping.
We live in this van, cook all our meals out of the back, and we sleep whenever we can. It's really pretty simple, which is part of what makes it so special. First night, it's 10:12 p.m. Yeah, riding through the night.
It was the first night ride I took. It was like 3 a.m, and it was like heavy mist. And then this really steep turn, and I brake, and I totally skid out. I got a nice like scrape on the elbow, nice on the hip.
Can you show it to us?
Oh yeah, of course. Here's the one on the hip. The one here on the elbow's looking like something like that.
We continued through Oregon and Washington at a pretty good pace. Everyone was riding pretty consistently. In some ways, it didn't feel like we'd almost scratched the surface. And that's when people start asking some more serious questions of like, if we can make it, because we're 900 miles in, but we still have 2,400 miles to go. And we get in the flatlands of BC. It's pretty flat for 300-400 miles. And we flew. That's some of the fastest rides. So I think at that point, we've really figured out how to sleep, how to eat, how to support each other. So I think a lot of people felt really strong through that section. And then we get up in northern British Columbia, which is truly the crux of this whole ride, is about 500 miles, day and a half, or almost 2 days of constant uphill, constant battles. Every time you hopped on the bike, it just felt like you were gonna work, and you were gonna work hard.
Davis, what's going on here?
We just got a little flat tire, but the worst part is you can't just change a tire in peace these days.
And skeeters everywhere.
Like,
it's stressful, it's hard, it's exhausting. And to do that for a number of days, in this case, 8 days in a row, you learn something about yourself.
Do you know when it's Friday?
This just in, Canada's huge. Like, huge.
Once we got through British Columbia, we were definitely more beat up. I think legs started to get tired, but we got to the YUKON. Anything like this is all about attitude.
Here we go.
You get to consciously decide if you're gonna have fun.
Oh, what's up? Welcome to Van Life, MTV Cribs edition.
Or if you're gonna be mad and frustrated. It's up to us if this is gonna be fun and goofy, or if it's gonna be this intense, stressful 7 or 8 days. We're doing this ride as a choice, and we're also choosing to do it with positivity and fun as the foundation for the whole thing.
Providing these opportunities to venture into the unknown. You're pushing yourself and you're doing things that are uncomfortable maybe, or at least outside of your comfort zone. And this is an opportunity to scare yourself a little bit and find out a little bit more about yourself along the way.
We were tired and like all of our legs and bodies were beat up, but in some ways it didn't matter. It was almost like a countdown.
8 to 1 to 97 to
And
16.
we knew we were getting close. By the end, the last ride, I think a lot of us, myself included, hit some pretty serious walls. And that's that feeling of just suddenly realizing how tired you are. At that point, you just put your head down and ride. We started talking about where we wanted to finish. This might sound silly, but we're 7 days into this 8-day ride. That's, this huge accomplishment for us. And we didn't even really care where we finished. So we started making jokes about, what sign or where in the city or what bar we're going to finish at. But it didn't matter. And I guess the point of that is that what we want to do is just hang out together, ride bikes, and the bottom line is we're going to have a ton of fun. We are brothers to each other. We'll be that for the rest of our lives.
Let's all, on the count of 3, let's all say what kind of pizza we're hoping to eat. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Everything.